Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Unite. First episode here with George Gebhardt, GoofGG. I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah, close enough. Sounds good.
All right, fair enough. So Late Night Unite is just exactly what it sounds like, a late night approach to kind of get some conversations going with some of the best players going in the game, content creators, etc. And you kind of check all those boxes. So I was pretty excited to hear you say that you would be willing to help me kick this thing off. As for me, this is going to be a weekly, about half-hour show, again, discussing, just having conversations with people in the game. So you are currently streaming. You told me things were going well. I think I saw you guys rocking through with Absol and maybe a little Greedent right now.
I think Absol, Greedent, and sometimes I play Gengar, but that's just a bad idea always.
Is that the tri-glasses Gengar? Is that still?
Yeah, the triple glasses Gengar. Oh, by the way, I'm honored to be episode 1. I had no idea it was episode 1. That's pretty exciting stuff.
I mean, I had to reach for the stars to help kick this thing off right. So I'm glad you could you join me. I put on my beanie. I thought we might be doing some video action beanie on beanie back and forth here, but I'm not that sad to say that I'm just out here alone with my beanie. I'll look ridiculous by myself. It's okay.
I actually have I have a webcam and stuff all ready to go, but I'm just setting everything up, and I'm gonna do my first cam stream in like 9 days. So.
I saw the timer going down on your stream. That's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I've been hitting the gym and trying to not be in bad shape on camera because COVID, lazy guy, stuff like that.
I am literally in a purple Taco Bell shirt, so I can't say that I've been following suit with what your strategy is. So, like I said, I'll let myself be the embarrassment here for episode 1. But Goof, you don't mind, I'd like to kind of get a little introductory portion of this done here. So I guess the first question I have, because it's one of the most interesting things to me, just kind of in esports, is how does the origin of the gamertag? Where does your origin of the gamertag come? I think GG is quite evident. It's probably from your name. But where's Goof materialized from?
I can tell this whole story. Should I introduce myself to the podcast?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm Goof. I'm playing on TTV. We're the top Unite team, probably globally. Definitely if you judge by achievements, we're the #1 Unite team for sure. That's like kind of like an objective measure, I would say, like accomplishments. And we've accomplished much more than any other team. We're doing great. We've been playing since the start of the game. We've known each other for a long time. We're getting along. I play the bot lane attacker for my team. Means I play characters like Pikachu, Venusaur, Sylveon, Ninetales, things like this. That's usually my role on the team. Sometimes we mix things up a little bit, but that's generally what I do. I have a bunch of teammates who are all really good players, and we've been having a lot of fun playing Unite.
Well, you guys have been crushing it, as you mentioned, starting from the very beginning. I believe you're all streaming, and that might be kind of where Love D's ended up transforming to TTV, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we played a Japanese team, and they thought we were Team TTV because we all have TTV in our name. So they're like, we're scrimming. They were so excited to fight us, right? Because we were like rank 1 at the time, and the game was pretty new. They were like, okay, we're gonna have scrims tonight against Team TTV, and we just thought it was so funny that they didn't know what our name was. So then we changed our name to TTV.
Well, it's resonating, and we've called you over at Unite Mics when we do commentary of tournaments. We call you the resident boogeyman because. You're always in the last stretches of every tournament, so if somebody expects to win, they know they have to cut through the TTV path, that's for sure.
Yeah. I would say like a while ago, we had a thing where we'd win every tournament or we'd go out like round 1. Now I'd say teams have improved a lot, and we've become like more consistent in a way as well. So lately it's been like we're either finals or we win. I said we're still winning like probably half, 60-70% of the tournaments we play. I mean, maybe a little bit more than that.
That's a good spot to be in. So, Goof, if you don't mind, let's talk about that gamer tag. Where does
gamer
that
tag? Do you know the story already? I feel like you're trying to get the story out of me.
I have no idea what the story is.
Oh, you don't know the story? Okay, I'll tell the story. When I was younger, my parents would drop me off at a comic book store. Okay, we lived in like kind of a bad area, and they were like busy. They're both working parents. Right, and so they dropped me at the comic book card shop, where you play like Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Pokemon TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh, all these things. And it was like kind of in a bad area, and there was like only one other white kid basically that went to the store as well, and so his name was Adam, and he stopped going, and so everyone just started calling me Adam at the store, and I didn't like it, and so I complained a lot. I didn't want to be Adam, I wanted my own name, and eventually, they changed my name to Stupid because they didn't like that I was complaining about being Adam. And then eventually, like, I climbed the ranks in the comic book shop, you know, like the social ladder, and I got upgraded to Goofy, and I was like, I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm gonna stick, and that's how I got my name.
The old adage of you don't get to choose your nickname, so when you get a good one, you hang on to it.
Yeah.
In similar parallel, my rugby nickname used to be Crash until everybody on the team found out I played Magic the Gathering, and then it changed to Magic. So I was fortunate enough to get a small downgrade, but not something I was willing to shake the trees too much about, because you can end up with something a lot worse in rugby for sure.
The store, though, it was nuts, man. We'd like fight in the store, and we'd like break the glasses on the door and all the time and stuff like that. And so, like, I just wanted to kind of set the idea that, like, it was like a rough bunch of kids, and we were like, you know, the nickname bullying was kind of like playful compared to some of the stuff that happened. So it's not like this traumatic experience for me. You know, I just want to make that kind of clear.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you made it through, and clearly it's you've adorned it, as GoofGG is synonymous with top players in Pokemon Unite. I have to ask again. I see kind of on your profile, and of course through your emotes and stuff, Cramorant is kind of plastered everywhere. Is that your favorite Pokemon, or does your heart lie somewhere else?
My favorite Pokemon is probably Gengar, but Cram was who I was playing at the start of Unite, and a bunch of people were playing Ninetales, and I was essentially the only one playing Cram in the beginning, and then everyone started to adopt like the Cramorant before he got nerfed a bunch and power creep happened and things like that. So pretty happy to... I think he's funny looking, you know? He's one of my favorite Pokemon now. I didn't play Sword and Shield, actually, but like his face, it's just, I don't know. On the inside, I feel kind of like a Cram, so...
There you go. I loved watching those early games and watch you rock with the Cram. It always seemed to lead to early domination in that bottom lane, because it looked like you all were just tapped in on something a little bit stronger than what everybody else was working on. Before we get too far into the early domination of TTV and kind of the path to where you are now, how did the team form? If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of birthed out of Heroes of the Storm, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. You mind running us through that?
Okay, so there's actually like a big myth about our team that we're all Heroes of the Storm teammates, and we have like years of practice playing together and things like that, but it's actually not true. I was a Heroes of the Storm solo queue player. Toonsim was a Heroes of the Storm solo queue player. Zugwork and Lutana were on a Heroes of the Storm team together for a brief period, like a little less than a year, and that's it. Like the other players on the team were not on a team together ever. We're all played Heroes of the Storm, but it's not like we have a bunch of practice. Otherwise, I like achieved rank 1 on the hot slider for like a little bit or something, like the actual like Grandmaster #1, or like I finished the season #7 or something. But by no means am I like a professional Heroes of the Storm player. I was actually the team manager, and eventually I owned the spot in the HEC league for Heroes. But it's not as if like we came into the game with a bunch of practice. We're friends and stuff, but it's not as if we had a bunch of practice and we switched over to a different team. So. Indy again was like he did like scheduling and stuff for the team. So me and Indy were not players. However, we're both good solo queue players. Indy got rank 1 playing support as well for a bit in Heroes of the Storm. So you can see where that translates to him kind of being on the Eldegoss.
Absolutely. So it's because you all were sort of synonymous in Heroes of the Storm and solid players, of course, is that kind of how you all were able to form your friendship, just through this kind of the team roles of management and scheduling and a couple players, and then Toon, I guess, through the solo queue? Is that kind of how you all formed that relationship and then decided, how did the decision go, like, okay, Heroes of the Storm is kind of in maintenance mode, how is this the pivot we're making, forming a team? How did that come about?
Oh man, so I knew Indy since Dota. Like Dota 2. We played on a Dota 2 team together. So me and Indy did play together, but not in Heroes. And it was years since then. You know, Heroes happened afterwards, all that stuff. But you know, we're like a group of friends. Toon came because we had an in-house league in NA, and Toon would sometimes play NA instead of EU on the ladder. He is from Wales, right? He's located in the UK. And Toon eventually just joined our friend group. We all met up at BlizzCon, one of the years that our team was lucky enough to make it, or skilled enough to make it to the event. And we had a good time. We did some partying, hanging out. But we spent so much time together. Discord is kind of like hanging out with people, these days. And we spent so much time with each other in group chats, things like that, that we just became close. And then we played various games together, like not always all together as 5, right? But Pokemon Unite came out. I love Pokemon. And I love MOBA games, as you can see from my gaming history that we already talked about. And I was like, all right, this game seems like I can win in it, and it's a IP that I like. The art looks nice. I'd played Pokemon TCG like 2 years ago, like briefly, and I really enjoyed that and the art in Pokemon TCG as well. And I was like, let's give it a shot. And so I just grabbed like the most cracked MOBA players that I knew I would enjoy playing with.
And TTV was born.
Yeah.
Very good. So another question about the formation of the squad. You kind of mentioned Indy making their way to the Eldegoss because they're playing support and incredibly good at support in Heroes of the Storm. Is that kind of a similar vein that the rest of you took, like the kind of roles that you had adopted in these other games? You kind of carried them into Pokemon Unite, and it kind of was easy to see who would play where and when?
Yeah, Zug was the tank for the HOTS team. Lutana was like the carry player usually, but the meta in Heroes was in Unite was a bit different in the beginning. So we kind of didn't know how everything was going to shake out. So we kind of just put people on this type of things they'd like to play. And then, we had to swap around kind of as the meta progressed. But it ended up with Lutana being the solo offlaner because he put Lucario as like, the sweaty character. And I play like the second carry and Toon plays jungle. Like we didn't even know jungle was going to be like the carry role,
Oh, right.
So there was only so much pre-planning that could go in, but to an extent, yeah, like Indy was a support, Zugger was a tank. So we had this idea that if there was a support and if there was a tank in the meta, it would be Indy and Zug on the team.
I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. At least slot in the easy ones, right? And then you can kind of build around that. That seems like a...
Yeah, I knew I didn't want to play like the hard carry on the team as well. So from there's like... Do you know how the Dota kind of... the role system works in Dota 2, like the way it's discussed? You have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the team. You're familiar with that or no?
Vaguely.
Maybe I should explain it to the viewers. Okay, in Dota, your players are your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it refers to like generally the characters they play, like their level of farm priority, right? So like your 1 would be your top priority to get farmed, and then your 2 would be your second top farm priority, and then 3 would be, and so on. So I kind of like being the 3 in MOBA games. Not so much the 2 or the 1. And so that's why you'll find me on stuff like Pikachu, Sylveon. Why I don't like to play the things like Venusaur when they're in the meta, but I do it if I have to. But yeah, I mean, kind of Toonsun plays the 1 position, Lutano plays the 2, I'm the 3, and these the 5, Zug's the 4,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just hearing you kind of how this thing materialized, it makes a lot of sense to me. And of course, that kind of naturally leads us into the next conversation is that early domination. It really felt, like you said, that you guys were winning every tournament to the point where, if I recall correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't even keeping track of second places anymore because you guys were just winning so much. Our second place is still a loss to us. Like when we get second, we lost. That's how my team sees it, and there's absolutely no way that that's going to change for us. Like we'd sooner quit the game than accept second places, but I don't think we'll quit the game. That's not what I'm saying. Just trying to drive home the idea that if we're not winning a tournament, we feel like we lost. We go out 2-3 in a close grand final to a zap flip, and we get second, we feel like we lost. Like we're not like, never have we had a conversation on Discord where we're like, at least we got second. That's like not in our vocabulary. I mean, that's a great mentality to have, and obviously that leads into the early success, but that leads into a few other things that have come down the road for you specifically. You are a guest writer on Pokemon.com, kind of in the strategist role, kind of for people maybe looking to get some additional information on Pokemon Unite from a top player. So you've gained access there, and of course with the world's announcement of Pokemon Unite being included in that, that had to put a smile across all of TTV's face, I'm sure, as you guys are already poised to be a presence there, of course, but now with kind of the ultimate prize on the line.
Oh, with Worlds, yeah, we're all really excited about the announcement. We knew something would get announced, to an extent, like. There has to be something for a game like this, right? That's so successful. You see everybody has the $50 skins, the $40 skins. They're like, the game's obviously making money, and we knew there'd be some kind of esports push. We're pretty happy to have it be like a live event at Worlds alongside everything else. It's something that's, it's in London. It's exciting. It's definitely exciting for me. Yeah, something to look forward to. My motivation is at an all-time high for Unite. I guess that's this kind of where I'd go from here in the conversation, is that I'm more motivated than when the game came out. Every day I wake up, I get on Pokemon Unite, I stream, then I do team practice, I go to the gym, I get back on Pokemon Unite, and I practice and stream again. And that's my day. Like, I do a little bit of content creation, but for the most part, all day long, all I think about is Unite. Sometimes I lay in bed and I'm like, what if Charizard is good against Japanese meta because he hits through the shields or something like that? Like, that's actually like the type of stupid stuff I think about in bed at night. So I mean, I'm obsessed with the game.
I mean, and we all get to reap the benefits of that. Myself, in generating my own content as a commentator, I get to reap the rewards of that. And of course, I get to learn a ton watching TTV streaming, as well as all the other streamers that are out there and content creators as well. How have you enjoyed your experience writing for Pokemon.com? How did that come about? Was that an email to you? Maybe somebody pinged you on Discord or Twitter and said, "Hey, I don't want to disclose like how Pokemon Company reaches out to people, but they reached out to me and they asked me if I could, they liked my style. I'm kind of family friendly on stream as well. I try to be, coming from Dota, coming from all this other stuff that I've done in the past, the culture is a bit different in those MOBA games where people are more aggressive, they're meaner, all this different stuff. They're not necessarily good role models for like the young fans that kind of Pokemon has. But since switching to Unite, especially like a couple weeks in, once I decided I was really going to do it, and like focus on it for a while, I really tried to adjust the way that I talk and the example that I set for kind of like the young Pokemon people, and I think that maybe probably plays some part in them reaching out to me. But I'm by no means a saint on stream or anything like that, but I do try to like keep the swearing to a minimum, stuff like that, and I've actually enjoyed it. It was growing to be something that I didn't like about myself, like all the swearing for no reason and stuff like that. So I'm glad that this game kind of gave me the opportunity to clean up my act in that way. I'm getting pretty old. I'm gonna be around kids soon. Who knows? Hey, look, I can certainly sympathize on that, as all of us are trying to navigate these waters in our own fashion, and understanding the environment that comes along with Pokemon, the content that comes along with that, and how we have to reshape ourselves to. I'm not saying fit like a cookie cutter mold, but you have to be able to fit into some mold to some degree. So that makes complete sense to me. I
think I got sidetracked a bit. You asked me how I like writing, right? I didn't even answer the question. So let me fix that. Writing's been hard. I haven't written anything since college, and it's been a struggle. Kind of, I sit there with Grammarly, and it's like telling me what to do, and I was like, this doesn't look like the sentence I want. I'm like, sincerely, it's a bit of a struggle to write and express my thoughts clearly after being so out of practice. Mm-hmm. Just like anything else, if you don't do it all the time, you kind of, it's the opposite of riding a bike. I would say writing. I'm sitting there, I can't spell. I need, but as far as like being able to interact with the fans through that medium, it's something I've enjoyed a lot.
I've read, I believe that the 2 articles. I don't know if you have more than 2, but I've read at least 2 of yours.
I have 2 articles out. Did I miss the second one? I may have missed the second article.
I believe it was the second one, or the most latest one I saw, I believe was Sylveon. You're right. Sylveon was one of the Pokemon you wrote about?
Yeah, dude, I didn't even know the article came out.
Well, there you go. Late Night Unite, breaking news. Goof's second
when did it come out?
Hey, let me check for you. I think I have it up because I was literally...
Dude, they didn't tag me or anything. All right, I want to change my answer. I don't like writing. No, I'm just kidding. But they didn't tag me this time. What the hell? Is it on the Unite Twitter?
I don't know if it's on the Unite Twitter. I was literally on their website.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'll see if I can't get that tweeted. What the? Okay, good to know.
December 8th.
Good to know.
December 8th. Decidueye, Greed, and Sylveon.
That the article came out December 8th?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Okay, let's go. I had no idea that was out. I should probably tweet about it.
Bang, there you go. You heard it here first. Late Night Unite.
Oh no.
Yeah, December
okay.
8th.
That's embarrassing. Okay, let's move on.
I mean, selfishly, it's a W for me, so I'm going to take it. Other than writing on Pokemon.com, and you mentioned the growth of the game. People can see the amount of money it's raking in, the community as it grows, which leads us to this past weekend where we have the last Shiny Emerald event leading into that big payout of a tournament, and of course the G4 event, and that's kind of the one I want to focus in on. What was your experience with that, kind of being behind the scenes in the top 8 top teams, and kind of being coordinated around so all the matches could be seen and things like that? How did you find that experience, and is there anything kind of behind the curtain you can tell us about besides what we saw on stream?
I've been around esports my whole life and competitive gaming. I'm kind of used to the format, so it wasn't like something weird to me. But I didn't like our long break. It definitely was not great having 3 hours. I actually went to the gym. We finished our group stage and I went to the gym. And I worked out, and I came home. I was all pre-workouty still, stuff like that. Not a big fan of having long waits, but I understand the need for it in terms of broadcast stuff. The metagame, in terms of the pick ban, I think pick ban is a good meta, but it is impossible to practice right now. So in events with alternative rule sets, something you'll see is that who wins the tournament is more, it's more random in a sense. It's not random in that a bad team will win, right? Or a really awful team will win. But you won't see a dominant team, someone be extremely dominant in a meta they've never played before,
Mm-hmm.
Or things kind of need some time to shake out to kind of, have some consistency in which team wins. We just had no clue how good Serena jungle was, for example. It's something that maybe we had an idea, but you have to feel it. And there's just absolutely no way to practice these alternative rule set tournaments. But it was cool to play without Dragonite. For sure. I wish we won, of course, but you can't win every tournament.
You can't win every tournament, but it's a lesson learned, of course, moving forward. And until they move that, pick ban, some sort of replicable type of thing in the actual game, so you can get some work in there. I can't imagine how tough that is to navigate.
Hello, Doob.
Yes, can you hear me?
We lost him, guys. He exploded.
I don't know.
I mean, oh, he's back. He's back.
Did you lose me? I was talking the whole time.
I lost you. We lost you. My chat lost you too. It's not. I didn't have it wasn't mental for me, so definitely we're gone.
Fair enough. No worries. We haven't been saying. What I was just saying is, I can't imagine how difficult it is to practice those types of unique, tournament structures without having any sort of formal thing in the game to actually get those reps in any sort of reasonable fashion. So I can see what you were saying, how it's odd the teams that rise to the top in those unique scenarios and might get fed perhaps something they're more used to, and that's a little bit more abnormal for TTV or other top teams. We have a big patch coming out tonight. Of course, you're aware. Is there any kind of dream wish list items you'd like to see on that patch that you think would improve the game moving forward?
I think I'll start with the obvious stuff. Dragonite needs to be nerfed. Serena needs to be nerfed. I prefer that at this point if Dragonite gets a bit over nerfed. Kind of don't want to see him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Serena. It's a little bit much. I want them to slow down low caps a bit, 10 caps and stuff like that. I think they go a bit too fast. I think the small caps being a little bit slower would be good, especially for late game stuff. I think they should do that, kind of maybe reduce the people standing on the goal score increase speed as well. Mess with it as well for the low caps.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just do something with that regard, and then they can. Because that will make score comp a bit worse, the rat cap meta where you kind of run around the map. What they could then do is revert the tier 2 tower buff. So you'll see team sieges again on the tier 2 towers. That was a really good part of the meta that was developing, and then they buffed the tier 2 towers. And that's kind of stinky. We were enjoying doing our tier 2 sieges. I think that was a good part of the game. So I think the tier 2 towers are a bit too strong, and I think that was reactionary to this another thing. It ties into the first thing that I said. That had to do with Serena and Dragonite diving you on your tier 2 tower. And so they buffed the tier 2 towers, the tier 2 goals. But actually the problem is just that Serena is too strong, not that the tier 2 goal is too weak. Characters like Serena and East Lucario are just too strong. That's why they're able to dive you on T2, not because the shield wasn't big enough. So now you have these invulnerable T2 towers, and people still score it in 6 seconds on their when they have no money. So what happens is like you don't even see fights on the towers. You like people run up and everybody's just standing next to each other and people are capping. I don't think that's how the game should look. So if I had a choice, I would slow down the tier 2 caps, nerf Serena, nerf Lucario, and slow down the low point caps, nerf Serena, nerf Lucario, and revert the buff on the T2 goals.
Well, you've got me convinced. That's what I'll put down on my wish list too, if they ever ask me.
Also, I want my fruits back. My post 5-minute fruits. That didn't make any sense either. I want my fruits back.
I wasn't particularly sure about that one either, to be honest, as a more casual player. We are already approaching time, believe it or not. The last thing I want to ask, because I've heard this through the grapevine, and if you don't want to talk about it, that is more than okay. But I've through the grapevine is that TTV might be getting a house to kind of get together, stream, and gear up for Worlds. Any truth to that? Or
I have I have no problem answering this question, but can you tell me who's the grapevine? You have to reveal your sources. For me, it's like a trade deal. You know, you give me the grapevine, and I'll give you the juice.
It was one of the Discord chats, either Aos Frontier or Floatstone. I can't recall which one. It was one.
No, there's absolutely no way I'm living in a house with Lutano, so it can't be true.
Absolutely fair enough. I'm not.
No, I'm just joking. I love Lutano. Actually, we spend weeks together in IRL, but no, yeah, we wouldn't do that. I think it's not good being together for too long in person. Like we spend so much time together already during the day, you know, practicing and stuff like that. And I don't think it's too different. The only difference between being like 2 feet away from someone and being on Discord with them is that, you know, at least you have the freedom to get up and walk away and take a breather when you have your own space. And if you don't, it can be a lot worse. Like I don't have to go like hide in my room in a gaming house when I'm upset, you know? Like I want to be able to go in the kitchen, my place, and relax, all this stuff. Like I think it just would make us more irritable at each other if we're trapped together. There's some possibility of Toon moving to North America, though. If it's region lock, that's for sure. It's probably our first choice in the case of a region lock is Toon moves. If that's allowed, that's something we'll probably do. But as for 5 people living together in a gaming house, I don't think that's something we'll pursue.
Completely fair, and that makes sense to me. Keep everybody's attitudes towards each other above board, for sure. Goof, it is 12:01. I can't thank you enough for your time, but of course, I want to give you the floor to, you know, plug all your stuff. Anything you might be going on. I know you kind of have a new stream schedule as well, and a lot of things planned in terms of just some of the movements and questions you've been asking on Twitter. So I'm just going to give you the floor, and you can cut loose on anything you want to throw out into the ether.
My Twitch is GoofGG. My Twitter is Goof_GG. Unfortunate, I know. We're playing in the Shiny League Finals this weekend. Make sure to come watch that on our stream, me and my teammates. Once you get to my Twitch, you can type !teammates in the chat. You can find the rest of the guys I've been talking about in the interview, and hope you have fun. Shout out to my friends from the comic shop when I was growing up. I hope maybe one of you is in chat watching. That'd be really funny. Besides that, not much else to say.
Well, Goof, again, I can't thank you enough for your time. On behalf of myself, Kirk Dupes, Next Dubai, this has been Late Night Unite. We'll catch you next week at 11:30 p.m. Tuesday. Take it easy out there.